We have been under an extreme heat warning for 4 days now, and I'm miserable. I have had a hell of a week that we'll get into later, and the heat is just not helping, and I don't know what to do. So we're gonna spend the remainder of the week reading. It is Wednesday. Hopefully the heat should be breaking by this weekend, but we're like in the hundreds for the past 4 days, and I have a couple of things that I definitely want to get through this week. I'm of course still reading the Shadowhunter Chronicles, so I have 3 contemporary romances that I want to focus on from the library. So first up, we have You Had Me at Olaf by Alexis Daria. I have never read this author before, so we have a bit of a new to me author moment, which I'm excited for. And then we also have another new to me author, which is Lila Sage with the Swift and Saddled story. So I am not too sure how I'm gonna feel about this one, but I'm excited to give it a shot. I love these covers, as I'm sure everybody has mentioned. I think they're delightful, so I really hope that I love this. And then the last book is an author that I'm giving a second chance, and that is Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. I have read one other book by Sarah Adams, and I didn't love it. So I'm gonna try to give this one a shot and see how I feel about it. I want to get through my TBR. I have a ton of books left. I'm still reading A Shadow in the Ember by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So I just have so much going on, and I haven't even touched any of the books that I wanted to read in June, and it's the last week in June. For reading, I'm gonna cut all the lights off and get cool. Try to stay cool, I think.
She whispered, getting to her feet and yanking at his jeans to pull them off. I want you inside me. Fuck yeah. He ground out.
Alright, so I am 73% of the way through You Had Me at Olaf, and I'm really enjoying it. Wasn't quite sure how much I would enjoy it because it's kind of like a typical contemporary romance, and when there's not much going on with a contemporary romance, I need some like spice elsewhere, and I didn't know if I would necessarily get it with this book, but I'm actually really liking it. So this is about Jasmine, who is a soap opera darling, and she gets casted for a rom-com show with Ashton, who is a telenovela star. Jasmine's coming off of a pretty rough breakup, and Ashton is hiding a lot because of some family stuff. He's a single father, and his career has brought a lot of safety issues, safety concerns and things into his personal life. So he's just very concerned about the safety of his child and his family and all the people that he loves. So he's very closed off. They start filming the show together, and they're kind of reluctantly attracted to each other, but their on-screen chemistry is just not there because he does not spend any time with the cast and crew. They don't really talk to each other outside of scenes, and so they start working together after a very bad no chemistry kiss. They start running lines together and stuff, and he starts going out with the cast, and they get closer and closer to each other, and interspersed between each chapter we're getting scenes of them together on their TV show, where it's kind of like a second chance marriage divorce couple situation. Both storylines is extremely sexy, extremely fun, and the chemistry is crazy, and I'm like thoroughly enjoying it. I love kind of seeing like the different writing styles and like the different relationship dynamics that are at play, because they're obviously playing characters, but the chemistry there is really good, and they're also like falling in love, you know, in real life. So you get like the 2 different relationship situations going on, and it's just so good. I kind of figured that this one was going to be like a solid romance, maybe like a 3-star, and then I would like some other books just based on things that I had heard from friends. Not expecting to like this one as much, which just makes me so much more excited to get to the other books by this author. I've been playing a ton of mobile games, Dream Daddy, and then I also started on my iPad Obey Me, both dating sims. I'm definitely liking Dream Daddy a lot more, but I'm listening to my audiobook while I play them. I have switched over to Obey Me, like I just started it. I got through the tutorial or whatever. Probably am gonna pick up a physical book once I'm done with my audiobook, if I'm gamed out by then. But it's Thursday, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I can work from home tomorrow and we can knock out a ton of books. This being so successful for me in a way that I wasn't anticipating has made me very excited to pick up the other books that I have from the library, the other contemporary romances. And I am desperate to get to the next book that I have to read in the Stephanie Archer hockey romance series. I have just heard so many good things about it, and for some reason I'm like in a hockey romance mood in a way that I have never been. I have never cared about sports romance, but for some reason this series by Stephanie Archer just like makes me feral for them. I don't know what it is. I like went through Kindle Unlimited and reserved a bunch of books that have similar covers in the hopes that they'll like recreate that magic. So but I'm desperate to get to Gloves Off, which is the next one that I have to read. I've just heard such good things about it, and I feel like after today's therapy session where I got off all of the stress and now it's cooling off, I just feel like a brand new person, and I'm pretty stoked about it. I do have a couple of games left on my list that I need to finish, but I'm just not really feeling them. You know, like a lot of them have similar like Stardew Valley, Coral Island feelings, and I just don't think I'm in the mood for that kind of game. I have so many of them that they start to kind of feel same. I'm gonna go back to playing my dating sim and listening to my audiobook after I have made my iced coffee, and then we'll probably talk a little bit later on, maybe, possibly tomorrow. We'll see. Hi friends, it's been many days since we talked, and that's purely because the weather has been so bad that it has made me not want to exist. So I've been literally sitting in that chair reading for a week now, not doing anything else, and I'm going a little bit stir crazy. That being said, I am currently reading Clockwork Angel with my buddy, 310 pages, and I am so desperately in love with this that I don't want to stop reading, but at the same time I want to do other stuff, you know what I mean? This is like a 10th or 11th reread for me, and it's just so fucking good. It's so good. It's so good. Like I don't know how else to describe it. It's the perfect historical romance fantasy. It's like what got me into historical romance. Will Herondale is the template, you know? I don't want it to end, but also I can't stop reading it. So I have basically just been reading that, and I read some other like contemporary romances and stuff, getting through things on my TBR. That's kind of what my weekend was, my week last week, and it's not supposed to be any cooler this week, which is freaking miserable. I think it's supposed to cool down later in the week, which is good, and then pick right back up. It just like sucks all desire out of me to do anything, to like exist as a person. Today I would like to actually get some stuff done. I think I'm gonna set myself up at my desk in my office. Definitely want to journal. I haven't journaled in a couple of days. I want to do some video planning and things, but I'm also working from home because I ate something that is not agreeing with me. So I'm hoping for like a little bit of a productive day. I don't have too terribly much, but I'm tired of sitting in that chair. I'm tired of being in this bedroom. I'm tired of constantly listening to 3 fans on high blowing in my face all the time. Just change up the scenery a little bit. I was really hoping to go to work today because I wanted to go to the gym and do all of that, and it just can't. I don't want to sit here and complain anymore, so we're gonna set up in my office and get some stuff done. Fingers crossed.
I don't do cheese, but that's okay. You actually and girl, motorcycles should be able to, you know, I said my order of executive orders when I do become president green. We got that green arrow. It is if you're in Thailand. If you're in Thailand on coastal, then you have a little pen, right? Because that's how everybody gets around. And if you or you're when we talk about wisdom, it's very relatable. That we have the great privilege of having to sometimes enjoy this luxury service where they basically pick you up from your home, swallow you in cashmere, bring you to the seaside airport. Like that one. Yeah. It's running.
Maybe it's supposed to be like.
You can.
Okay, Bakers, you've got 5 minutes left.
That's what he said.
Too much of a swirl.
For me, there's a little bit too much mint.
Sorts of feathered chunky monkeys, aren't they? We're looking for more of a swirl than peppermint.
I have just been spending the morning doing some planning, life admin stuff, and I also started watching The Great British Bake Off, which is something that I have tried to watch previously, but I couldn't get into it. But I was looking for something that was kind of soft, quiet, cozy, that I could have on in the background that was kind of like low stakes and, you know, nice. 2 or 3 episodes in, and I'm really liking it. It's not like I need another TV show to watch, because I surely do have plenty, but I liked it, so I'm probably going to continue. I'm watching on Netflix. It's like set up in a weird way. I'm watching Collection 5. It's the season from 2017, and I don't know what that means. Mark it on serialized. There was 2, and it was just funky, so I don't know what that means, but if you go on Netflix and you're watching it, I'm watching Collection 5. But I wanted to do kind of a review of all of the books that I have been reading last week and this week, since I wasn't really filming. First up, we will talk about You Had Me at Ola, which is the first thing that I finished last week. I really enjoyed this. The audiobook was really good. Relationship to be very sexy, very fun, with some great intimate, tender moments between the two of them. Then I read Practice Makes Perfect. This is a best friend's bodyguard romance. So it follows Annie, who owns a flower shop, and she has had a thing for her best friend's, her brother's wife's / her best friend's bodyguard since her brother and his wife got together. He's back into town because it's their wedding, and he's like, you know, been contracted to protect her. She's a pop star or something like that. Sees her on a terrible date at a restaurant in this small town. And Annie has always been kind of viewed as the angel of the town, the goody two-shoes. She's a virgin. She's never really like been the wild child, and she's like deeply protected by the people in this town, whereas Will is tattooed and gorgeous and a bodyguard, and he's big and gruff, and so the town, it doesn't really like him. But Annie is struggling with this identity that's sort of been forced on her, and so he starts helping teach her how to date. And then it eventually becomes like a whole thing. I really, really, really liked this. Will is such an exceptional hero. I would say both characters have a lot of baggage, a lot of things that they are carrying into this relationship, but they navigate it very well. And I just loved Will. I loved all of the little things that he did for Annie, and I liked the way that these two characters just kind of felt like they understood each other and they saw each other, and if one of them did something that the other didn't like, they were so willing to work through it, and it was just great. I really, really, really liked Will. Annie's character is great too, and this was like a really good 4-star. Definitely a redemption for Sarah Adams in my mind, because like I said, didn't like that one book that I read by her, but I'm interested in picking up more for sure, because this was really good. And then the last book that I read that I haven't talked to you about is Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. I didn't realize that this was the second book in the series. Obviously, you don't necessarily have to read them in order. They're like interconnected standalones. But this is basically about Ada, who is helping Weston renovate part of his like 7,000 acre ranch or some crazy number. His entire family lives on the ranch. He is like the second son, and he's not going to inherit the property, but he still loves it very deeply, and he's always kind of felt like he lives in his siblings' shadows. And Ada is coming out of a really, really, really bad marriage with a very controlling, to say the least, ex-husband, and they have a kind of a makeout session when she gets into town, not knowing that they're working for or with each other. And when they find out, Ada is not very happy. She obviously has a lot of things to work through with her ex. Weston has depressive disorder, and so I really liked the story for the characters and who they were. I really liked seeing the characters work through their emotional things. However, I did not like the romance. Well, I didn't dislike it, but I found the romance to be just very subpar, and that's ultimately why this ended up getting a 3-star for me. I have read authors that focus a lot of their stories on mental health with romances, and they tend to work for me, but this did not. I love Weston. I really ended up liking Ada's character by the end of it, and I saw myself in both characters very strongly, but again, their romance was just not as developed as I wanted it to be. I also did a little bit of reading of A Shadow in the Ember. I think in the ebook I am maybe 150 pages in. I am tentatively liking this. I like that this feels very similar to it has the good parts of the From Blood and Ash series that I enjoyed, and it also has the bad parts that I did not enjoy. I don't know if I've spoken in this vlog about this book, but it's essentially a Hades and Persephone. There is a deal between the humans and the gods. God of Death will have a consort from the humans, and in return, their crops and all of that stuff will prosper. The God of Death denies her in the very beginning of the novel, and so their land starts dying. So she's trying to deal with the aftermath of essentially her purpose in life having failed. And she's also had a couple of run-ins with this god who she doesn't know the identity of, and they've had some like attractions to each other. They've had a little bit of heavy petting so far, but she doesn't really know his true identity, and she's trying to figure out why this trio of gods are killing humans, and so is he, so they kind of work together a little bit. The issue that I have with this, and that I had with From Blood and Ash, especially later on in the Blood and Ash series, is the dialogue is incredibly repetitive. The same jokes, the same tension-building tactics are definitely on display here. I think if I have to hear about her stabbing him and how inappropriate and improper things between them are, I'm gonna die. I was hoping that the story would be an improvement. I heard that unlike the other story, the other series written by her, this wasn't a From Blood and Ash ripoff, which I am thankful for, and it really doesn't seem to be. However, it's definitely falling into some pitfalls, and it's kind of becoming a thing where it's like with Sarah J Maas, where Sarah J Maas just writes a certain way, and you kind of have to expect it and accept it if you're going to read her books. Maybe this is like a JLA writing style thing that I just have to accept if I want to continue reading it. That being said, I'm not going to not read them. In fact, I got the Kindle ebook collection of them and the audiobooks for like $1. I have the entire series and I'm gonna give it a shot. I made the same mistake with the From Blood and Ash series. I bought the Kindle collection of all of the books, and as the books were coming out, I just hated them, but I'm hoping that I won't make the same mistake here. Like, sure, probably should have learned my lesson and just not picked them up, but I genuinely want to like her stories. I genuinely love fantasy romance, and I love trending books. I love knowing what people are talking about. I love being part of the conversation, and so I want to love her books, and I'm just hoping that some of the issues that I'm having will be cleared up when I start actually reading the book, because I am reading so many other things at one time, like right now, that I feel like maybe I'm starting to notice, or maybe I am noticing things that I wouldn't notice otherwise, if that makes sense. Wanted to give a little bit of reading updates on those because I know they're popular books, and also, like, I never really talked about them. So, that being said, the rest of the day, it's like 2 o'clock now. I am probably going to play some Critter Cafe. I ended up picking it up, and it's great. I love it. I'm going to continue to play it. I'm resistant to going and getting in the bedroom because, like I said, I'm just so tired of being in there. So I'm going to watch some Twitch and play my game, and then we're going to pick up some books later on.
It's not a huge deal, so it is what it is.
If I do, I'm not allowed home.
30 brand new challenges